Hello everyone, how are you? This week Parashat Re'eh, the Zerah Shimshon in this week's parasha brings a beautiful Yalkut Shimoni. Now the pasuk says Aser Te'aser. One pasuk talks about the mitzvah of giving the Ma'aser, 10% of your money to tzedakah. And then the pasuk afterwards says V'samachta b'chol hatov, and you will be happy with all the good that Hashem gave you. And the Midrash says, what do you mean you're going to rejoice and know happiness with all the good? Which good are we talking about? The Yalkut Shimoni says, the Midrash, the good is only talking about the Torah. Like the Pasuk says, Ki lekach tov natati lachem. What is the good things that we acquired is the Torah. So when the Pasuk says you're going to be rejoicing with the good, it's talking about the Torah. And this is why Moshe Rabbeinu is warning us to give the Maaser, to give all the Maaser we need to Tzedakah because of the Torah. And as the Rashi Shon asked, that is a very interesting midrash. What is the connection between giving Maaser and the Torah? And the Rashi Shon wants to explain in a beautiful way. And he says like this, Chachamim says that when HaKadosh Baruch Hu promises, or when a prophet on the name of Hashem makes a promise, it's very different. When Hashem makes a promise himself, he can always retract what he says because Hashem does whatever he wants. And even though he promised you he's going to give you this, and then he decides it's not good for you, you can always take it back. However, when the prophet comes and tells you that Hashem will give you this and that, Hashem cannot retract. Because if he retracts, then people will be confused and will accuse this prophet to be a false prophet. And therefore, once the prophet said it, then there's no way back, and Hashem has to fulfill it. And therefore, the Zerah Shimshon continues and says like this in Divrei Yamim. The pasuk says, "Vayomer la'am leyoshvei Yerushalayim latet maneh lakohanim alvihim lemahan yachaziku betorat Hashem." That the prophet commanded the Jewish nation to give the maaser and the money and the portion to the Kohanim and to the Leviim in order to be able to hold and to be machzik the Torah, that the Torah should be standing. And therefore, if you want to make the Torah stand, you have to give the maaser. The Gemara in Masechet Sanhedrin explains that the only reason why the Torah is standing is because people are giving maaser to the Kohanim and to the Leviim and to the Chachamim. When you give them the money, you support them, they can go ahead and study Torah. And the more Torah they study, the more halachot they know, the more teachings they can teach. And they can give classes, and they can give over more and more. And anytime somebody has a problem, we can ask the rabbi the question. The rabbi will know the answer because you supported him and you gave him the power, the ability to be able to learn Torah. And therefore, everyone that's giving the share of charity and giving the share of the income to the Kohen, to the Levi, to the rabbi, they're able to support the whole Torah of the Jewish nation. And the Zerah Shimshon says this is exactly what the Midrash is saying. When the Midrash says, give the Maaser, and then it says you will be rejoicing with all the good, we're only talking about the good of the Torah that you are collecting from the Maaser that you're giving. Because the real good in this world is not the actual good that we have here, it's the good we have in Olam Haba, in the world to come, that you gave the Maasrot. You're getting the share for supporting the Torah in this world, and you're getting such a big merit in the world to come. And this is why a person has to be very careful to give the Maaser, to support the Torah, to support the Torah classes, to support the rabbis and all the schools and the Torah education. This is how important it is. And not only this, by you giving the Maaser, you only get richer, because, like we said, the promise that is given through a prophet cannot get back. Only if the prophet says, you give the maaser, you're going to get even more back. Hashem has no choice. And this is one of the only mitzvot that Hashem said, Bechanina bezot, you can test me on it, because Hashem said that you have no choice. If you give the maaser, I will give you more back. Because it was given in the hand of the prophet, and once the prophet said it, Hashem has to fulfill it. And therefore the Prophet commands us to give the Maaser to support the Torah. And because we are supporting with the Maaser Torah, not just Hashem will give us more prosperity in this world, but we also get so much goodness in the world to come, because we have a share in supporting the Torah of the Jewish nation in this world. And Baruch Hashem, I give you beracha, that the Kadosh Baruch Hu give you so much prosperity, and osher ve'osher and chavod, and Hashem should give you so much, and you should always be able to give more and more, and never be on the side of the asking, but always in the side of the giver. And Be'ezrat Hashem, you should always be able to support the Torah and its Torah education. And for anyone that doesn't know, we have an organization that supports Torah education, and we always need, and we send Gorski kids to yeshiva, to Jewish schools. We pay the tuition, we pay tutoring, and if anybody wants to participate, can directly message me and ask anybody my number, or direct. We're able to take donations, and everything is going 100% directly to Torah education, to pay for teachers, to pay for tutors that will be tutoring a Gorski kid, learning Aleph Bet, and getting into yeshiva, getting into school, and learning halachot, and paying for the tuitions of these schools. So if anybody wants to take part of this amazing mitzvah, like the Pasuk says, and the Samachta B'chol HaTov, you're only going to see more joy and more good in this world and in the world to come, Bezrat Hashem. Bezrat Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu should answer all the tefillot of Am Yisrael, and you should have a beautiful Shabbat.